So we are continuing from the teaching series that I'm dwelling on. Why and when does God send His prophet or free? Why and when does God send His prophet or free? Why and when does God send His prophet or free? Hello, leave the sound. Why and when does God send His prophets are free? We've looked at it from part 1 to part 2. Today we are looking at Moses as a prophet that God sent. Moses the deliverer. I want us to read Acts chapter 7 verse 22 to 25. I've been able to give us so many whys and so many when God sends His prophets. But let's do another in-depth study today. Let's learn. Acts chapter 7 verse 22 to 25. This is the account of Stephen. This is the account of Stephen recalling what happened in Exodus chapter 3, what took place in Egypt. So Stephen from the New Testament studied the histories of the past, of how God raised deliverer for Israel to deliver Israel from Egypt. So Stephen in the New Testament is recounting the history that took place in the past, letting them know how God started dealing with their forefathers, the forefathers of Israel, the patriarch, that how at a point Israel were in bondage, which is Egypt. They were under siege of the enemy. They were under oppression. They were afflicted. They were living in misery. They were being starved. They were being deprived of their rights. They were being limited, and they were in deep pain, agony, and they were in sorrow. And how the children of Israel cried out to God for help. They reached out to God for help. And then what God did was that God came down in the flesh as in form of a man. God